The North Westward Ho was one of Manchester's most unusual nightlife experiments, a floating nightclub moored at Pomona Docks during the 1970s, at a time when club owners across Britain were trying increasingly bold ideas to stand out. Originally a ship based in Cornwall, it was bought, moved, and extensively refurbished over about a year before reopening as a pub ship with a late license, multiple bars, often reported as 6 or 7, and spaces for dancing, live music, and private functions. Inside, it functioned much like a large nightclub, with DJs playing popular tracks of the era, especially Motown and Northern Soul, and sometimes resident bands, including jazz acts. Its late 2 a.m. license made it a go-to destination after traditional pubs closed, attracting crowds looking to continue the night. Former patrons recall it as lively and energetic, comparable to other well-known Manchester clubs of the time, with a strong party atmosphere and a sense that everyone there was out purely to enjoy themselves. What really set it apart, though, was its surreal setting. Not only were people dancing and drinking aboard a ship, but next door sat an RAF jet that had been repurposed as an additional venue space, reportedly used as a restaurant and overflow dance area. This combination, a nightclub boat alongside a grounded airplane, captured the era's appetite for novelty and spectacle in entertainment. The experience wasn't always smooth sailing, literally or figuratively. Accounts describe the ship's narrow staircases and gangplanks as tricky to navigate, especially for people wearing platform shoes or after a few drinks. Falls, bumps, and bruises were apparently common, though usually taken in good humor as part of a wild night out. Low beams and banisters added to the slightly chaotic charm, with some guests even sliding down them in high spirits. The venue became fondly remembered as the Love Boat, reflecting both its setting and its reputation as a carefree, slightly hedonistic space. It embodied a wider 1970s trend of experimental leisure, alongside ideas like disco trains hired by football fans, which aimed to turn nightlife into an experience as much as a location. Despite its popularity, the North Westward Ho only lasted a few years, closing in the early 1980s. Since then, the Pomona Docks area has undergone major redevelopment. Once a relatively barren industrial zone, it is now part of a rapidly changing landscape near Media City, with new housing and infrastructure replacing the docklands. The floating nightclub, with its bars, music, and even its companion airplane, remains a quirky and memorable chapter in Manchester's cultural history.